setting the stage for me to discuss the Urbanization Knowledge Platform. It's my second visit to Bogota. It's a glorious city. I have to confess, I always get the weather wrong. But so I wanted to just start by exactly what is the Knowledge Platform and why are we doing this? And I do believe that we have a short video as well. Is that going to play now?
Urbanization is the defining phenomenon of the 21st century. Nearly 2 billion people are expected to move to cities and towns over the next 20 years. Rural to urban transition is a once-in-a-lifetime event. We cannot afford to get it wrong. Urbanization and economic growth go hand in hand. Looking at Japan, we can see that economic activity is densely packed in Tokyo. In the US, cities are also the engines of growth. But this is not just a developed country phenomenon. Economic activity in developing countries is also highly concentrated in cities across all regions of the world. Urbanization presents great opportunities for economic growth and poverty reduction. But it also carries great potential costs, particularly for urban poverty and the environment.
Cities drained on energy, cities drowning in solid waste. I used to work on Cairo, so incredible asthma rates amongst children under 5.
Senegal is a country of immigration. The population in Dakar used to live on tourism and fishing, but this resource is drying up.
The Urbanization Knowledge Platform will connect and convene national policymakers, cities, researchers, private sector, and civil society. It will draw on the best available knowledge and experience, and it will help translate ideas into action.
For the first time in history, more than half the world's population will reside in cities. The first way in which we want to help address these challenges is by connecting city practitioners to one another.
The nature of the problem is so complex that no one agency can deal with it.
And what we realized is that individual silos of energy, public sector services, real estate, and transportation, but they're not talking to each other. And we believe fundamentally the network as a platform, almost like the fourth essential utility in city building, is what's going to get cities to the next level.
And so we're really thinking hard about how can we come up with new creative ideas where the poor can still keep that seat at the table.
Fundamental truth is that cities don't make people poor, not usually. Cities attract poor people. Now when they're functioning well, they're attracting poor people by being avenues of opportunity.
We had a very successful slum upgradation program with the municipal corporation.
Slum networking project is nothing but networking the city infrastructure to slums.
This isn't something that you do once and then say, well, we've got this ready, we're a smart city and so forth, that in fact every city has to continually reinvent itself.
The bank today is no longer only a generator of knowledge. It has to be a catalyst for knowledge. It has to bring the knowledge from all other parts.
Reinvention of cities. Cities are, it's a living thing, and reinvention is an integral part of any city's life cycle.
We really got to start thinking about these economic models not in terms of the trade-offs, within the immediate future and bringing in business, et cetera. We have to look at what is the sustainable issue in terms of maintaining that economy.
Green-collar economies, green-collar jobs, that kind of financing, especially with institutions like the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank, or the UN, can really start to stimulate cities to divert their traditional economic growth models into a more ecologically sound one.
We obviously meet at a critical moment for our cities and our world, a moment when the challenges our cities face are only matched by the opportunities that they offer.
We as economists, we think about how things are done and what things are done. And we don't think that much about where things are done. It the difference between poverty and prosperity.
Cities are places where problems and solutions meet, and where also a demographic and economic transformation is taking place. And if we don't seize the moment now, then we would really have lost the development agenda.
Want to thank Dr. Soroyo for partnering with us on the Urbanization Knowledge Platform, and also very pleased to see the Korean Research Institute for Human Settlement that we're partnering with in East Asia, and in fact we presented with them just about 2 weeks ago here as well, and it already sets a nice stage for a South-to-South dialogue on cities and urbanization, and great to see colleagues from Chile and Brazil and Mexico and Puerto Rico here as well. So why a knowledge platform? And this might make you feel that I'm reading it in Spanish, but actually I'm not. So the idea here is really to firstly invite you to actually to talk about global community of practices in cities. And secondly, to listen to you exactly what are the issues in urbanization, what are we facing today, and what are the issues over which we can connect cities across continents and across regions. And thirdly, to ask you exactly what would you like from this Urbanization Knowledge Platform. I'm always told that there are a number of knowledge platforms which exist, and exactly how do we get out, what do we get out of this, and why a new platform, and why is the World Bank involved? But the idea is really to, in fact, connect all the knowledge platforms which exist on various issues on urbanization, be it territorial planning, be it green growth, be it inclusiveness and urban poverty, and try and bring them into a dialogue and an exchange of information with each other. So there really are 4 questions: why, who, what, and how. So we'll first turn to, I guess this is why. So basically, why are we here together? And we heard this morning about how half of the world is already urban. So urbanization is the defining phenomena of this century, and it is going to define and shape the economies of various countries, and who succeeds and who fails, and it'll all depend on how this urbanization is managed. How is it managed for economic growth and for poverty reduction? And the fact is that 70% of the GDP in countries is produced in cities, but at the same time we also know the problems that almost 80% of GHG gas emissions are produced by cities. So you know, we see the pros and cons of exactly how urbanization is going to, or is in fact, impacting us. So why is it important for us then to talk about cities, and exactly what will the knowledge platform bring to us? I think there are 4 things that I want to say. One is that the knowledge platform, in fact, convenes people together on a certain, on the issue of urbanization. And this convening is done not only by institutions like the World Bank or the Inter-American Development Bank or the Asian Development Bank, but also regional and local think tanks like